Greetings, everyone. My name is Steve Wheeler. I'm a faculty member in landscape architecture and the host of our LDA 190 lecture series this fall, as most of you know. We have been looking at the subject of a sustainable campus and hearing from a number of people in various agencies dealing with that topic. Today we think about return to transportation, which is a very important topic in terms of sustainability, not just on campus, but in Davis overall. Something like 57% of Davis's greenhouse gas emissions come from transportation. That's in part because the city doesn't have any big industry and stuff like that, but it is a big challenge for us all and relates to what our speakers today will be talking about. We have three speakers. I'm going to let them, I'm going to introduce Clifford and then let him introduce the other two. Clifford Contreras is the Director of Transportation and Parking Services at this university. He was an undergraduate here, and David, who's another of our speakers today, did graduate work here, so we have two UCD alums of the sort. And for those of you who don't know, Transportation and Parking Services is a very important building out by the Arc, where you can, which handles many different dimensions of getting around the campus. I will let them take it away and tell you about those. So thank you for being with us.
You're very welcome. Can I shut the door or you want to leave it open?
Please shut the door. And I will hand around also the sign-up as usual. Those of you in the class, please check off your name.
Again, my name is Cliff Contreras. I'm the Director of TAPS. And with me today, because it would be a burden to have you just listen to me for 50 minutes, and these guys are a lot more interesting than I am, and certainly know their subject matter more so than I do. I brought with me today Mary Maffly, who is our Transportation Demand and Marketing Coordinator. Mary, can you stand so people can see you? She'll be talking later about our alternative transportation and our new Go Club. And also with me is David Takemoto-Weerts. He is a TAPS bicycle coordinator, internationally known everywhere in every circle related to bicycles. In all seriousness, he is an expert on bicycle transportation, and we're very fortunate to have him on this campus. Before I get started, throughout the course of this time frame that we're going to present, just to keep you awake, we're going to ask a couple of questions, and we have some free giveaways from our very generous partner, Sodexo. And 5 of the first giveaways are for lunch, up to $7 at a number of places at the Silo. And our grand prize is a lunch for 2 at the Silo Cafe, the Gunrock Cafe. So throughout this, and there's one question on here related to Unitrans, so we have Anthony Palmer in the audience. So Anthony, you have to recuse yourself from answering that question. And Stephen, I saw you take a sneak peek at this Q&A, so you can't answer any of them. So that said, let's go ahead and get started. This is what we're going to talk about. We're going to do an overview of TAPS. We're going to talk very briefly about our mission, vision, and values. We're going to talk about some of the unit programs, the sustainable programs. Mary's going to talk about the Go Club. David's going to talk about the bicycle program. And we hope to leave some time for some Q&A at the end. Here's our pretty vast organizational chart, and for today's discussion, we're going to focus on the bike program and the alternative transportation program. What's our mission? Well, our mission is to facilitate the access needs of the campus. How many people here have a parking permit? 3. Excellent. We hope to get that down to 0. What's our vision? Well, our vision is to invest in affordable and sustainable transportation. You'll start seeing more of that in terms of the investments that we make, and Mary's going to share with you some numbers as it relates to the start of the Go Club, which just launched at the start of this academic year. So I think you're going to be impressed with some of the numbers that we've been able to sustain thus far. What are our values? Well, we want to make sure that we're honest with our customer base. On the accountability side, we want to be transparent in everything that we do. On the perspective side, we want to be fair and consistent with the things that we are offering the campus. And on the service side, we're dedicated to outstanding customer service. And when we don't do that, we want to hear from you to let us know how we can improve that level of service. Under the programs and descriptions, if you go back to the org chart, most of the operation is related to parking. We also have a small airport just west of 113. I'm not going to focus on that. What we are going to focus on today is the Go Club and the bicycle program. Hi, come on in. You don't have to run, nobody's paying attention to you. On sustainable transportation, we want to talk about West Village, a very key development as it relates to alternative transportation on the campus. I want to talk about a parking lighting project that we currently have underway that we hope to have finished by the end of the winter quarter. David's going to talk more about the bike barn and our partnership with them. We have a bike garage now as a satellite office, satellite location from the bike barn, and we're going to talk a little bit about the cyclist assistance program. And Mary's going to go into detail about the alternative transportation program. West Village. You've probably seen, if you've been anywhere west of 113, some of the construction that's going on related to the development of this housing area. It's on 220 acres, and it's full build out. It will house almost 4,500 residents, including 500 faculty and staff. At its full build out, it will have dedicated transit service, and I understand, Anthony, that will be on 10-minute headways, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. And it's got, with that development, 4.2 miles of bicycle and pedestrian paths. We had one of our graduate students calculate the CO2 emissions saved annually, just as it relates to West Village, and it's nearly 500,000 pounds in CO2 emissions. Sustainable programs. I talked a little bit about the lighting project. We've invested thus far over $1 million in retrofitting all the lights within our parking facilities. It's a 6.2-year return on investment. We got a big partner in this, PG&E, that contributed over $300,000 in grant funding. They're energy efficient lighting. I don't know if you've seen these lights maybe in the parking structures, so that they're on at 50% capacity, and as you grow, you get closer and closer to them, they'll grow in intensity in terms of the lighting. A much improved lighting, not just for energy efficiency, but for safety as well. This program was endorsed by the campus police department. There are over 2,000 parking facility lights, and so if anybody wants some used lights, we got plenty of them. There's over $120,000 in energy savings annually. We pay our utility bill, and so this was a significant, come on in, significant investment on our end, but it's going to pay off, as I said, in over 6.2 years. The kilowatts saved are over 1.3 kilowatts saved, and here's the big one. Over 1 million pounds of CO2 reduction annually, just by retrofitting our lights. So, really a worthwhile investment on our end. Improved lighting, safer for the campus, just a great project, and hope to have that done by the end of the winter quarter. One of our sustainable programs is our relationship with the bike barn, and David talked a little bit more about this. The bike barn located near the silo, on the east side of the silo, just isn't large enough to continue to allow people to do self-repairs in that facility. We've known that for a while, and we felt, given the facilities that we have throughout the campus, if we could identify an additional area on campus where people could do their own self-repairs, because the bike church is no longer located on the campus. It used to be in a housing area near Orchard, that people would utilize this facility, and maybe more people would utilize a bike if they had the ability to repair their bikes themselves, as opposed to maybe spending the dollars necessary at a shop to do that. So we talked with Robert St. Cyr, the manager of the bike barn, and told him that we had a facility within the North Entry parking structure, and this is the office space located right here in the North Entry parking structure. That's the one off of Howard Way near Hickey Gym. And we've actually renovated this space. You can see the rubber mats on the floor here. You see the bike stands here. This is where people can now take their bikes and do self-repairs. We also have a caged area just outside of this space where people can do self-repairs as well. What we hope that this will do, not only so that people will be able to inexpensively fix their own bikes, but one of the big problems that we have on campus related to bicycle use is abandoned bikes. We've got, I think David guesstimates that we have over 1,000 abandoned bikes. We pick up 1,000 a year. There's probably another 1,000 that we can't pick up because we just don't have the storage space to do that. And we sell those at auction twice a year in a public auction, and David will talk more about that. So we hope to alleviate the abandoned bike problem on campus by people doing this. And then part of the other reason that we feel that people might be leaving their bikes, at the end of the school year is, I come out from class or from my dormitory and I look, there's my bike, it has a flat tire, I don't want to deal with it. So one of the things that we thought that we could run a program comparable to our motorist assistance program for those 3 people that have parking permits. When you have a problem with your vehicle because you left the lights on, you need a battery jump, or you locked your keys in your car and we come out and do a vehicle entry, or you run out of gas and we take you to the gas station, or your tire's flat and we put air in your tire. The Cyclist Assistance Program is a comparable program for cyclists that ride their bicycles so that you can contact the bike barn and they will come to you and they'll fix your bike either on the spot, or if they can't fix it on the spot, they'll take it back to the bike barn or the bike garage, fix it, call you when it's repaired, and you come and pick that up. Now the difference is this is a fee for service. The Motorist Assistance Program is a complimentary program because as part of your permit price, it pays for the Motorist Assistance Program. Thus far in talking with Robert, this is doing extremely well, the bike garage. And there isn't yet enough word of mouth going around, so Mary's going to help Robert do the marketing necessary to get the campus aware of this new program. We think when they find out about this, this is going to grow pretty significantly. How many people know what Zipcar is? Okay. How many people are Zipcar members? Really? Okay, maybe after this you will be. Zipcar, we launched Zipcar on the campus at the start of the fall quarter. When Zipcar came here, by the way, Zipcar is a car sharing company. They're based in Boston, back in Anthony's old roots. Anthony is a Harvard graduate. When they came to us, one of the big concerns that we had was their inability to rent cars to students that were 18 years old. The bulk of the campus population, there's over 30,000 students here that aren't 21 years old. The bulk of them aren't. And so they wanted to bring a program that most of the campus population couldn't otherwise utilize. We said, well, that's just not going to work on our campus. You need to change your regulations to allow 18-year-olds to utilize this service. Well, they eventually did, and we now have a system-wide contract. That means all 10 campuses and their medical centers have a contract with Zipcar that allows folks on their campus, and they have to be campus affiliates, staff, faculty, or students, can utilize Zipcar. The cost is $8 per hour during the week, and I believe it's $62 for the entire day. So if you use it 8 hours, it kicks into the lower program, the daily program. There are currently 156 members of Zipcar. When we talked to the Zipcar folks when they first came out here, they've only been here for a month now. When they said when we reached the 2-week mark, we hope to have 36 people signed up for Zipcar. We're obviously ahead of that curve right now with 156 members. With those 156 members, we have a 13% utilization, which is significant given that it's only been on the campus now for just over a month. There are 8 cars on campus. 4 of them are located in lot 25A next to the ARC. 2 are located in lot 43 adjacent to the silo right across the street from the bus terminal. And 2 are located on the south side of Marac Hall. The bulk of the cars are Priuses and Scions, Honda Scions, I believe, is the manufacturer. When we reach a point where we have 40% utilization with the 8 cars that we already have, they'll bring on more cars at no cost. There is no cost associated with this program to TAPS or to the campus. Yes?
Could you define utilization?
Utilization would mean that if you take the entire 24/7 hour period, if you're utilizing those at 40%, they'll bring on a new car.
So that means 40% of the total hours?
Correct.
15 minutes.
Yes. So quite a deal. So all that we're investing in this is the parking space at which they utilize to park these vehicles. Not a bad investment because at 40% utilization, Zipcar saves the campus from having to build 14 new parking spaces. So just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It's also a terrific thing because in the past when parents would call me telling me why their son or daughter couldn't bring their car to campus, my response is it's a campus policy, they already live on campus, they're here, but what about if they need to go to work? What about if they need to go to an internship? What about if they need to go wherever? We really didn't have an answer for that. Now we do. You can utilize Zipcar to get to where you need to go. I think it's a good time for me to ask one of our questions. Okay, so just bark out an answer, and the first one closest to it gets a free lunch to the silo. Okay. Everybody ready? Now this question doesn't have a lot to do with sustainability, but the reason it's important is because at some point, hopefully next year, the next time I ask this question, the answer is going to be at least the same, but not significantly more. And that's how it deals with sustainability. How many parking spaces on the campus? Well, park something out. If you want a free lunch.
40.
I'm sorry, 40,000?
50, sir.
No, lower.
4,000.
Higher.
5,000.
6,000.
Higher than 10.
15.
15.
Higher than 15.
22.
7.
Come on, guys.
31.
32.
Did somebody say 16?
Yeah.
Who said it? Raise your hand.
Did I?
Well, your professor said you did. The actual answer is 16,311.
15 was pretty close.
Yeah.
Stand up so people can notice and recognize. Stand up. You're not kidding. Congratulations. Okay, let's move on. Zimride. How many people know what Zimride is?
I've heard of it.
Oh, geez, not as many. Okay, Zimride is a software program associated with helping people find a partner to ride with. So it's sort of a car sharing software program. It utilizes Facebook as its platform. How many people are familiar with Facebook? Everybody, right? Almost every student has a Facebook account. I think I'm the only dinosaur in here that doesn't have a Facebook account. I think Mary's always reminding me, do you not have a Facebook account? No, I don't. My son has a Facebook account, but I don't. Thus far, we've got 500 people that have signed up as users of the Zimride. And so that's going really, really well in terms of numbers. We hope to increase that number. I'm predicting by the end of the winter quarter that number should be in the four-digit range. I'm going to hand this off to Mary so she can talk more about the Go Club. And before I do that, I'm going to do one more giveaway. How much does TAPS invest annually in alternative transportation?
5 million.
No.
Lower than 5, higher than 800.
1 million.
Who said a million? You're the winner. What's your name?
Steven.
Steven. What's your last name?
How much does that invest?
Stand up. We actually invest a little over 1.1 million. Congratulations. So that's it. The grand prize is actually lunch for 2 at the Silo Benrock Cafe, so we'll do that towards the end. And so we have 4 more questions to go. Mary, thank you.
Well, hello, my name is Mary Maffly, and I'm the Go Club Coordinator, previously known as the Alternative Transportation Program, and I also market the program. How many of you guys have heard of the Go Club so far? Phew, that's good to hear, because I was hoping, we just launched it in September at the start of fall quarter, so I'm really trying to get the word out, so it's a great opportunity to be here and teach you guys about the Go Club, especially since it looks like many of you use an alternative mode to commute to campus. So the Go Club is our new name and identity for the Campus Alternative Transportation Program. It was launched this September at the start of fall quarter, and currently we have approximately 2,000 members. But this is definitely not a reflection of how many people use an alternative mode here on campus. There's plenty of people using an alternative mode. We want more, but not too many people know about the Go Club yet. So we're trying to get people enrolled in that because you do get incentives and benefits for being in the Go Club. So why did we create the Go Club? Well, clearly it's about sustainability. Transportation accounts for 38% of the greenhouse gas emissions in California, and 78% of those emissions are from passenger vehicles. So TAP started conducting a campus travel survey in the 2007-2008 school year, so we could take a look at how people are getting to campus. And from this you can tell bike is king. It's 40% of the mode share, and next is bus, which I think largely accounts to Unitrans. But there's still a quarter of the population that are driving alone to campus. We also look at average vehicle ridership, otherwise known as AVR. AVR is the ratio of the campus population to the number of cars commuting to campus. So the higher the number, the better. And it's good for us to see from our campus travel surveys that in 07-08, our AVR was a little lower than it was the following year in 08-09. So we're at 3.5, and we want to keep that number going up. So Cliff, you have my other question.
Another question, because the next slide reveals the answer. Okay, next question, quick on the draw here. How many pounds of CO2 emissions were saved on campus last year as a result of people choosing an alternative mode to driving alone?
1 million?
More.
2 million?
More.
2 million?
More.
10 million?
More than 10.
20.
More than 20.
30 million?
More than 30.
40
Who
million?
said 40? Oh, what's your name? Stand up, Tricia, you know the drill. There you go, congratulations. Actually, 40.4 pounds. So pretty substantial with regards to what we're doing to reduce the carbon footprint on campus, what you guys are doing to reduce that carbon footprint. So applaud yourselves.
Yeah, so 40 million pounds saved annually is a big number, and we're proud of that, but we definitely want to increase that number. And from the campus travel survey, we learned that less than 20% of the population, of the campus population, is aware of TAPS's alternative transportation program. So we looked at methods of increasing this awareness, and one of them was creating the Go Club. It's a more fun name, it's a more fun program, and we gave it a new look and a new identity. The alternative transportation program didn't really have a look or identity, so hopefully this will help me market it a little easier. And I created some brochures and collateral posters. You'll see banners lining the outside of the TAPS building and posters in the ARC and the MU. Hopefully you'll see an ad on the football big screen and at the basketball game. So we're really, really trying to get the word out about this program and increase our numbers. We also added more incentives and features to the program. The original alternative transportation program didn't recognize people who biked and walked to campus. In other words, they didn't get any incentives for doing that. So we added bike and walk as formalized programs, and I'll go into more of the incentives for that later. We also partnered with Zipcar and ZipRide, which Cliff mentioned, and I also wanted to add Zipcar at $8 an hour to rent those vehicles. It also includes gas and insurance, so that's huge for students. We increased the subsidy for people who take the bus and train to campus, and I'll go into more of that later. And we also created some fun with the program. Now we have a prize basket. So I'll be doing 12 drawings a year. I just did 2 for people who carpool. And you get this wonderful prize basket that our Go Club sponsors contributed to. It has tons of great items in it. It's worth almost $400. And we were really excited. We met with other campus units to see if they wanted to be a partner to the Go Club, and they were just more than willing to do so. Sustainability is a hot issue, and so people were really excited and gave wonderful gifts. For example, Campus Rec gave 12 one-month memberships to the ARC, which includes group exercise classes. And they didn't just commit for 1 year, they're gonna do this for the next 5 years. So we'll be having these prize baskets. And the basket is a bicycle basket itself. So it's all zero waste. The whole prize is a zero waste prize basket. The the Bike Barn donated $50 off labor, 12 of those, which is a great thing to have if you ride your bike. They also gave us one men's and one ladies' bicycle for grand prize drawings. So that was really cool. And Sodexo is a great partner. They gave more of those gun rock lunches and $7 coupons to the silo eateries. And we have, as you can see, a lot of sponsors. Unitrans gave bus passes just in case you're not currently using Unitrans and you want to try it and it works for you. So there's a lot of really great prizes in the prize basket. So let's look at the programs. If you're lucky enough to live to campus, which I'm sure many of you are, and walk to campus, now you'll get incentives for doing that. We decided to give out 12 complimentary permits per year for people who walk to campus, so that's 1 per month. For the days that maybe it's too cold or you're not feeling great or you have a medical appointment and you really need to take your car. So it sounds counterproductive to give out parking permits for a program like this, but it's really to keep you in the program and prevent you from buying a campus parking permit, because that is the criteria to be in the Go Club. You can't have a parking permit. Another great incentive for being in the walk program is Campus Recreation donated a complimentary membership to their formal walking program called Aggies on the Move. So they have their own set of incentives, so you double up on the incentives. If you ride the bus, TAPS will subsidize your bus pass, so we'll give you up to $23 off every month of your bus ticket. And you also receive all these other incentives, including an emergency ride home program, which is, a lot of people worry, well, what if I get sick or my child gets sick? I can't take the bus home for some reason. Well, we'll give you a ride home. So that just alleviates that worry and makes it a little easier to try taking the bus. We contribute, or TAPS contributes nearly $100,000 annually towards Unitrans, and that helps subsidize undergrads ride Unitrans for free, so it's all as an incentive to utilize this wonderful transit system we have here in Davis. Unitrans ferries over 3 million passengers each year, so they're a huge partner in sustainability. We also sell discounted passes to YOLO Bus, Sacramento Regional Transit, and Fairfield to Student Transit if you live in any of those areas. We also work with the medical center, so if you live in West Sacramento, you can use the shuttle that goes from the med center to campus, and we sell those passes, and if you don't hold a campus parking permit, you get all the incentives that go along with the Go Club also. There's a growing number of people utilizing the train to get to campus, and people love taking the train if they live far from campus. It's a great way to commute, it's relaxing, it's just, people can't say enough about taking the train. However, once they get to the train station, they always ask me, well, how do I get to campus once I get to the train station? Unitrans does have a route that goes from the train station to campus. I know schedules sometimes aren't quite there, so we are working on that and looking at that. We've been in discussions with the bike share program, which would be a great solution to have, bikes set up at the train station and you could just jump over to campus. But I usually recommend to people to go to the bike auctions and buy an inexpensive bike so that they can bring it on the train with them and just bike over to campus. Right now, carpoolers are our biggest member in the Go Club right now. It's a great way to commute. It really brings down your expenses rather than driving alone. You're sharing the cost of gas, of wear and tear on your vehicle. The parking permit is 75% off what you would pay for a normal parking permit. So this is a great alternative mode of transportation. And as Cliff mentioned, Zimride is the best way to find a carpool partner. It's also a great way to find a ride to Tahoe or home for the weekend. So I really want to get the word out about Zimride, and you can go to the Go Club website, goclub.ucdavis.edu, and all the information for Zimride and Zipcard are on there. If you've got at least 7 people that you can commute, then they go into a van pool. So we work with van lease providers. When people are interested in something like this, because they live more than 15 miles away, which makes van pooling a more economical option, then I forward your name and information to the van lease provider with your permission. And once they have enough people, they'll start putting little meetings together to get a van pool going. Again, there's all the benefits that go along with van pool, and currently we have 3 van pools coming to campus right now. So if you know anyone or if you live in any of these areas, they're always looking for additional passengers, or they'll take a casual rider if you need a ride. And last but not least is our Go Bike program. And again, this was not formalized, and now it is. So if you're biking to campus, you'll get the 12 complimentary permits for those days that you're just unable to bike and you need to take your car to campus. So we made it a little easier to keep biking and prevent you from buying that campus parking permit. And another great perk that for bicyclists, they have access to the ARC shower and locker facilities. In the past, it was only if you were biking from outside of Davis to campus, but now it's if you're biking within Davis or outside of Davis, and if you walk. So we can get you set up with the shower and locker at the ARC. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to David, our bicycle coordinator. Unless Cliff has another.
I got another question. Go ahead, Dave, get set up. Now, if you're paying real close attention, Mary sort of gave the answer to this in her presentation, but I'm going to ask it again. Here's the question. How many people, and Anthony, you can't answer this, people did Unitrans ferry last year?
3 million.
Slightly more than that.
Ooh. 3.5.
Ooh, very close, but it's lower than that.
3.4.
Who said 3.4? You did. Okay, stand up. What's your name? Okay, here you go. It's actually 3,422,717 people. I got that answer about an hour ago when I called Anthony for that information. So, Anthony, that number is, you'd indicated on the phone that that number actually grew from last year, is that correct?
Yeah, it's about 5% above. Well, I think it was between 5 and 10% increase from the year before.
From the year before.
It's not the highest ever.
Yeah, that's, Unitrans alone is a significant partnership with TAPS and its ability to bring people to the campus that don't otherwise, bring a vehicle. And we are very conscious of that, and we truly want to be the partners that we need to be in order to support that operation. So they're tremendous, and we're happy to be their partners in our ability to provide a more sustainable transportation mode for people coming to the campus.
Yeah.
Dave, talk about bikes.
The bike program on campus has got a whole lot of different elements to it, and I'm going to go through each of these individually here in just a moment. And I don't think I missed anything that's major. But before I go to the next slide, Cliff.
Oh gosh, another one.
Yeah.
Before the grand prize, how many bike parking spaces are there on campus? Ooh, tougher one, huh?
40,000.
Not quite.
18,000?
18's close, a little bit high.
20,000.
Less than 22.
21.
18.
20.
Who said 20?
She did.
Okay. What's your name?
Kate.
Sorry?
Kate.
So your name out loud. There's actually 20,597.
That was the only one we got.
I have licenses at the end for the grand total, so think about it. My last question is, how many bike licenses did TAP sell last year?
So we don't have a slide.
We don't have it.
All right, so a lot of bikes on this campus, as you all know. We estimate 15,000 to 20,000 bikes on campus, especially in the fall and spring, the weather's nice. Just a ton of bikes, about 20,000, just over 20,000 bike parking spaces. Bicycle registration is a requirement on this campus, and some people think, what's that all about? Well, when you're dealing with 20,000 bicycles every day, there's a lot of issues that are easily resolved when you know who the owner of your bike is. Picking up abandoned bikes, dealing with illegally parked bikes, people need their locks cut, and we'll talk about that in a second. So bicycle registration is a relatively modest amount to pay for, consider it like a parking permit for your bike, and it does afford some benefits, especially in recovery of stolen bicycles. We also have a program to provide cyclists, people who don't have a parking permit or are not part of the Go Club, with access to actually A parking permits for a small fee for those times when you need to drive to campus and being able to get to an A lot, which is oftentimes a more convenient location for you. So that's another service we offer. Bicycle safety education, I give talks in the dorms, I give talks off campus, go out to schools, that sort of thing. So that's part of my responsibility. And another part of the education process is developing literature and that sort of thing that could be of help. And the Davis Bike Map, which we have a bunch of them here to help yourself to them before you leave, it's really pretty much the best map of Davis, I think, that's out there. And it shows you where all the bike lanes are, where all the bike paths, where the bike shops, where you can get air in your tire. On the back side of the map, there's a lot of resource information that can be pretty helpful. Bike commuter shower and locker access. Of course, as students, you can pretty much just go use those showers anytime. But for those of us who aren't students, the Go Bike Club gives you opportunity to use these, and we work closely with the folks at the ARC, Hickey Gym, the Pavilion to provide access now, which is great. Bike lock cutting service. It used to be that we'd cut a few locks a week, couple locks a week maybe for people who've lost their keys. Nowadays, it's broken keys. There's a different kind of key that most manufacturers are using on locks, and they tend to break inside the lock. So we do at least one a day on average, and often we do as many as 4 or 5 a day. So something to know about. Abandoned bike abatement. As Cliff mentioned, that is a real problem on this campus, and a real limiting factor for us is storage space, because state law says we have to, number one, hold bikes for 3 months before we can dispose of them. And then we can only dispose of them through those auctions, which I'll talk about in a minute, and that creates a problem. High security bike parking. I sort of scour the vendors out there to look at racks and decide what works best, and for the last number of years we've chosen this style of rack, which everybody seems real happy with. It provides pretty good security, it looks nice and easy to install, and so we're slowly retrofitting the whole campus with these things, replacing those concrete blocks and other inferior racks. Tire air stations, we currently have 10, actually one's out of commission right now over at DMU, but because of the construction by our coffee house. But we've committed to installing at least one a year over the next few years until we get the whole campus sort of blanketed with where we need these. The next one's going to go somewhere out in the health sciences district, so it's a free air all over campus. Our department looks for money, and so I write grant proposals, and others in our office do that as well to fund major improvements like this is an example of Hutchison Drive. It was a $1.1 million project that we got largely funded through grant money to widen Hutchison Drive from 113 out to Road 98, the Primate Center, and adding bike lanes. That was done about 3 or 4 years ago. Bikeway Transit Network Study. As you can see, we got a grant, or the university got a grant from Caltrans to do this planning study. Final report came out last spring, and was looking at both bicycle circulation on campus and transit, and it was a neat project in the way that people who were running the project had some great public workshops to allow us, people to really actually physically walk a huge aerial photo of the campus and take different colored Post-its and write what the problems were or what they liked about certain areas on campus and put them on this giant map that then photographed the whole thing. It was a really fun way to find out what users of transit and bikes really felt were important things to get done. And the number, as you can see, over 160 site improvements costing at least $27 million were identified, so don't expect those all to be in place by the end of the year. Some more stats about that, different projects. Bike locker rentals. We've got 76 bike lockers on campus. That means double that, 152 locker spaces around campus in several different locations. If you're interested in those, you can ask them about them. We store bicycles in the summer primarily for freshmen who go home and haven't moved into an apartment or off-campus location yet, and don't want to go through the hassle of taking their bike back to LA or whatever. So we provide some bike storage for a modest fee. Indoor storage. Of course, the bike auctions. Everybody loves bike auctions. We have 2 public auctions a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. Next one is May 1st, at which we typically have between 420, 430 bicycles up for sale to the highest bidders. And we also now do eBay auctions where we take the worst of it. Now, these are basically the abandoned bikes, okay? So we take the worst of them and we put them on eBay in lots of 10 bikes each. pretty much just for parts, but again, we're obligated to, the only way to dispose of these bikes is through auctions, so that's just another way to get rid of a lot of them, and much to our surprise, people are willing to pay money, enough that makes it worth our while to have these eBay auctions as well a couple of times a year. Valet bike parking is a service we provide at a variety of events on campus and occasionally off. And it's just a free way, to provide some secure bike parking. Usually it's done in a place where there's really not sufficient bike parking to handle the demand at special events. That's it for the bikes.
Well, thank you, Mary and David. And first of all, let me thank Professor Wheeler for inviting us here. I took a look at the series over the lunchtime. Quite an impressive group of people that will be coming. We're honored to be here, and thank you so much for inviting us. Really, your feedback only helps us improve the program to make it better, and that's what we're trying to do. We want to continue to improve the programs and services that we offer the campus, and through the programs that we already talked about. That's the feedback that we're taking from travel surveys, from emails that you sent us, from phone calls, and we're just in the process always of continuing to try and improve. Okay, last question before we open this up to further questions. How many bike licenses did TAP sell last year? They're not counting. How many?
9,000?
Less than 9.
3,000?
8,000?
More than 3.
8,000.
Who said 5? All right. 5,413 licenses. What's your name? Jaime. Congratulations. Well, you can take him to lunch with you.
Okay, we have a few minutes for some questions. So here's your chance. Anything you wanted to know about transportation? This is annual transportation.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was wondering, are there any plans for a bike share program? It seems to be like an emerging thing.
We have several vendors approach us, and we've met
Can
with
we have a little bit of quiet?
Okay, he asked about bike share programs, and those people have different definitions of bike share programs, but some of the classic ones these days are the ones like in Paris where they have these special bike racks that you use a smart card or your cell phone or some easy way of sort of renting a bike instantly at pretty low cost to use, and around camps around town. And it's a fairly heavy investment of infrastructure and bicycle purchases. And the vendors that have approached us, I mean, they all think, yeah, Davis, we're a perfect place. Well, when we start talking about how bicycles are really used here, then they sort of lose interest a little bit, because it's not, we're not a big tourist destination like Paris or, some of these other big cities like Washington, D.C., Vancouver that have pretty successful programs. So, as yet, we're not seeing it, and it is pretty expensive. We don't really have a budget at this point to try to implement one. And really, it's not the cost of a bicycle that in Davis that keeps people from riding a bike. Really, I mean, most of us could afford to go to a yard sale and buy a bike for $20 if we needed a bike, or come with a bike at the auctions or something. Bike question?
Yeah, bike question. So I tend to take the train back to the area, and I usually bike to the train station.
Yeah.
The problem is that there's not enough parking spots,
Yes.
and it happened to my friends that they would lock their bike to the fence along the station.
Oh, yeah.
And when they came back from Bay Area, the bike wasn't there anymore.
Yeah. Do you ever just take the bike on the train? Because that's pretty convenient.
Well, that's the problem. I get out of the train in Santa Clara, and I live in Mountain View,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
far away. So
Yeah.
I cannot bike, and you cannot really take the bike on light rail.
Well, there's a lot of interest in trying to improve the bike parking at the depot. Of course, that's out of our jurisdiction, but I'm on the City Bicycle Advisory Commission, and it's something we've talked about. It's probably well aware of, certainly, so, but I haven't got a ready answer for it.
I've taken a train before also, and there's also a limited amount of spaces to put your bike on the train.
Well, that's true, yeah.
So the more people that take their bikes on the train,
Yeah.
the more people are actually out of trouble for.
Consider a folding bike, that's what I've done.
Yeah, but then you
It's not cool.
it's not that much.
So, anyway, the city's looking at it, aware of the problem.
I actually have another comment.
Yeah.
I think the van pool and the carpool programs are great, but I feel that they're more suited for people who have a set schedule, like 9 to 5. As a student, I take classes, it might be from 6 to 9, or I might have to work on a project late. I live in Citrus Heights, I have to, commute here, and I've tried carpooling, I've tried taking the train, and it's incredibly inconvenient when you don't have a regular set schedule that you can work with somebody else who does.
Have you put your information on Zimride?
I have not.
Because,
didn't
I mean,
know
I
about
get
them.
that almost, every presentation, every fair I go to, so there's tons of people out there with not, with.
Inconsistency.
Right, so, and I realize that is a bigger challenge than the 8 to 5, but it's worth, because Zimride is so sophisticated that you can literally put, your hours for every single day. It's not just like, I'm looking for someone from Citrus Heights.
Okay.
You can outline it by every day, each time, each day. So they're super sophisticated, and, I think you'll find that you'll have better luck.
Yeah, good observation, and that's one of the reasons we brought Zimride to the campus.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Okay, other questions, yeah?
How do you use the car rental? What do you need?
Zip car?
Yeah, the car, what do you need to be eligible for that?
Well, you need to be 18 years old. You need to be a campus affiliate, which I assume you are because you take this class from Professor Wheeler. And you can go online and just sign up, and then you can, you pay a $35 fee to sign up, but they give you a $35 credit. So in essence,
It's
it's
kind of
free.
like a deposit.
Correct. And then, it used to be if you had to use that membership fee within a month, but I think they've waived that now. And so a lot of kids were saying, well, I don't really need it right now. I'm gonna need it during the Thanksgiving holiday. I'm gonna need it during the winter holidays. So now you can just sign up and you can just hold that. But that's all you need to do when you're signed up and you're ready to go.
Can you
Yes.
reserve a car, for example?
That's exactly what you do when you go online. You reserve the car for a
Because it's
future
for
day.
example, for the Thanksgiving weekend, there will be a lot of people who will use a
So I would
car.
certainly sign up now,
It takes about 3 to 5 days to get approved, so if you think you're gonna be needing a car, I would definitely get signed up now, and then
So
you'll,
you definitely have to plan ahead if there is something,
Yeah.
bigger holiday coming.
3 to 5 days it
If
takes
it's,
to get
yeah, if
approved.
it's something that everybody's gonna be part of, yeah, you wanna go on.
3 to 5 days is just to join the service initially, right?
Right,
And
to
is
get
it $8 an hour or $35 a day?
No, it's $8 an hour, $62 a day, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, it's $9 an hour and
77.
But
$77.
and you said it includes gas and insurance?
Correct.
So that's the total cost for you?
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
the taxes apply on top of that?
It's 180.
Does it include a tax? Oh, do you have to?
I believe it's inclusive, Mary, the tax inclusive within that?
That's a good question, I'm
We
not
should
sure.
find that out for you.
But zipcar.com, or go, what I would do is go on the TAP's website or go on Go Club and click on Zipcar from there, and it'll get you into the UC Davis portal on Zipcar.
So if you drive that car somewhere far that actually you have to get gas again, do they?
They provide a credit card in your vehicle,
Okay.
allows you
So
to
it's kind of like when you rent a van from
Yeah,
school.
it's actually part of your responsibility to return the car to its same spot with no less than a quarter tank of gas. But the credit card will pay for the gas, so you don't have to pay any additional cost beyond your hourly charge. You got a question? More questions? You got a question here? Can you speak up, please?
You can enroll for Go Club online, right?
Correct.
For Go Bike and Go Walk,
Okay.
the other ones you just download a form and then you have to bring it into the TAP's office. We're working on getting it all online.
You have time for one?
Okay, one last question. Anybody, anything else you want to know about transportation?
Yeah.
This is off the subject, I don't mean to stray too far off, but as far as you're talking about bikes and certain reasons why people, encounter problems, and the bike theft problem, it seems to, it stays fairly consistent every year. I wonder what the TAP's approach is to that.
With the what?
The approach your group is.
Well, of course, the bike theft prevention law is really a police matter. The license registration program helps a lot in recovering stolen bikes, certainly. The police just sort of resurrected the bike enforcement program in April, and so Ralph is the full-time bike officer, and he's also, in addition to out there being enforcing traffic laws, he's starting to work a lot on the bike theft problem as well. So I'm not sure what's coming out of that right now, but we work fairly closely with him on those issues.
Okay, I think that about does it. Let's have a hand for our speakers.